Hi guys, Sam here with today's thought for the day. And this week we're thinking about some of the different things that happened in the life of Elijah. And yesterday we were talking about how God led Elijah to a cave and then led him out to speak to him through a gentle whisper and a still small voice. And today I wanted to talk about some of the things that God actually instructed Elijah to do and what he did next. So when Elijah was out on that ledge speaking to God, God first of all reassured him that he wasn't alone, and he thought that he was alone. He thought he was the only person who loved God, but God reassured him he wasn't. And then he told him to go and appoint this guy Elisha to be his successor as a prophet, to go and train him up in how to be a prophet, and teach him how to be God's next messenger. And so Elijah goes to Elisha and finds him ploughing in a field with some oxen, some cattle, and he throws his cloak, his prophet's cloak, over Elisha's shoulders, which is kind of a symbolic way of showing you're going to be the next prophet. And Elisha understands this and understands what he's got to do, that he's got to go and train to be a prophet. But his response to Elijah is a little bit hesitant. He says, can I first go back and bury my father and mother? He's kind of saying like, can I go and like live out a bit of more of my life and wait for my mum and dad to pass away and then bury them and do all that I need to do and then come and follow you? Can I have my life first and then like do this later? But Elijah, being gracious, says, go back to your mother and father, but think about what I've done to you. Think about this commitment that's just happened. And so Elisha does, and he goes back, but instead of going back and living out some more of his life and then coming along later, he actually creates a bonfire using the plough that he's been using in the field and slaughters the oxen that he's been ploughing with and has a massive barbecue and feeds the whole community in this kind of massive goodbye party, really. And what he's actually doing there is being all in to this plan that God's put in motion through Elijah, and he's completely cutting off his ties to his past life. He's burning, literally burning his insurance policy of what might happen if it doesn't work out with Elijah. And sometimes God tells us to do something, or gives us some instruction, or gives us some kind of guidance, and it's maybe not easy to hear, and it's maybe something that we might find difficult. And sometimes we can kind of be half in and half out for God's plan. And maybe we want to follow him, but also we kind of want to hold something back in case there's something that's maybe a bit too difficult or something that we don't like. And we can almost kind of give ourselves insurance policies and and things that we can go back to if we decide actually I can't follow God at this time or it might be a bit too difficult. But what Elisha does is really challenging, I think. He kind of completely opts into God's plan and says, no matter what happens, I'm following you, God, and I'm gonna follow Elijah and train to be your prophet. And God really honors him for that. And I think that can be a bit of a challenge for us sometimes. How in are we? How are we all in for God, or are we holding something back? So have a think about that through this week. Have a think about maybe what areas of our life we haven't given over to God yet that He's challenging us to. So thanks for listening, and remember to subscribe if you want to keep hearing these thoughts for the day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.